Yes, but I mean, they've built up quite a number of MPs over time, small parties. It takes a long time to establish a party. We've only existed since '93. As I say, we've come on quite a long way. We could do a lot in the 2009 elections. That's probably our best option. And if there is a tide of concern about the Constitution, treaty, we could actually become almost a majority party in the European Parliament from the UK end. I think you have to be true to your values. I was a Tory for 20 years. The reason I'm not a Tory now is, to be honest, I think what's happening in British politics is a total charade. If you've given away your power to another body, which is the European Union, and now they want to give away control of transport and energy, Westminster is really going to become a Madame Tussauds exhibit very shortly, and it's going to be a waste of time. And that is the plan, because you get rid of nation states, and you have strong regions, and I'm afraid they regard Scotland as a region. England, they want to break up into 9 EU regions, so the regional change has gone wrong a bit. But everything's been designed for that, including regiments and emergency services and policing they've tried. And this is what's going on. You have a centralised Europe run from Brussels, and you break up nation states, and you encourage a breakup. I think part of the reason the UK is in trouble is it's a bit like Belgium is going to split in two in a couple of years. That's what they're saying. It's what happens when you have a very centralised body encouraging and fanning these differences. In fact, I think it's quite dangerous to do it. But the other point to make, on that, I think you've got to stick to your values. I believe in what I'm saying. And I think, a bit like Churchill was regarded as being bonkers and mad in the 30s, but he was right. I think he'll be proven right. I hope it won't be too late. The other point is there's 17 million people out there who don't vote at all. Probably some of you, I don't know. But the point is that is larger than Labour and Conservative put together. So there's a mass market out there of people you can persuade with the right arguments. I think the fact that so much power has been given away is why democracy is in such trouble. That's not good for any party.
You get this impression, as you listen to the debate cast in these terms, that Jean Monnet and some of his friends that started things off in Europe after the war are still somehow lurking in a little cupboard at the back of a room in Brussels, plotting out all the masterstrokes. They will suddenly, one day, we'll all wake up and NASCOMs will be abolished, Britain will be abolished, everything else. And I'm delighted. I'll take the references from the Constitutional Treaty as was, the Reform Treaty as now is, and I'll take them away, and if I can understand the points you make from that, then I'll change my position. I just don't recognise any of this. This needs to be based on hard evidence, actual parts of the Constitutional Treaty. Come on, this is not what is in there, and there's sorry, I'm not going to stand here and say I've read every last bit of it. And if anyone in the room has, I'm going to take my hat off to wish you a happy life sometime.
As regards to what you mentioned before about EU policies that were meant to be seen to help things in the Highlands and Northern Ireland but received British funding, the Gaelic Language Act of 2005 was mainly pushed forward and supported outside the Scottish public, not even the Scottish government, by EU funds for minority languages. Up until then, it had been in rapid decline, and today there's very little effort by any British political party, not even the SNP, to promote modern Scots Gaelic. And if the British government is willing to let national language die out, surely the EU is admirable and its funds and efforts well spent in trying to save the entire culture from the abandonment of its governments for the past 500 years.
Well, I'm very much in favour of Gaelic speaking. I know it's in trouble in Scotland. It's obviously been promoted quite a bit in Northern Ireland, obviously Ireland as a whole. But I'm very much in favour of it. In fact, I have relatives who ran the MOD, the Gaelic conferences. What I'm saying about funding is I'm not knocking the programme to how it's used. What I'm saying is that's our money we give away to the European Union, and then when we get it back, we have to actually match it. We have match funding to get it back. And my point is, why don't we just keep the money? And spend it on our own needs, because we have serious problems with hospitals and schools and public services in a very serious state in this country. It's all very well funding Spanish hospitals or Polish subways. I'm very much in favour of developing Europe and helping them, maybe through the city more. But there comes a point where why don't we need these invested in our own country to sort out some problems which are getting worse and worse. You know, I'm very much in favour of that kind of spending programme, but my point is, you know, we could actually spend a lot more on it because of the resources that we're giving away to the EU. And you know, the point is, you ask the government what the cost-benefit analysis is of being in the EU, and they won't give you an answer. They'll say, oh, the benefits are self-evident. It's a bit like Iraq, isn't it? The benefits were self-evident. But, you know, it's not good enough. And I'm very suspicious of a government that doesn't actually give you the real figures. We have to do a lot of digging, and our laws ask a lot of questions. We do a lot of research. And these figures have been deliberately kept under wraps.
Can I say that somebody who's represented a region of Scotland, part of the south of Scotland, that European structural funding has been absolutely essential to us in trying to redevelop the economy in the last 10, 15 years, because we've suffered from the fact that manufacturing has been in decline, that some of our traditional industries have real fierce new competition elsewhere in the world. I mean, globalisation is a real threat. But the regional funding has been allocated on a consistent basis across Europe based on the average wealth of each particular region. It has allowed money to be put into particular training programs, into particular infrastructure projects, lots of other things which we would not otherwise have had. Now, actually, in an ideal world, I prefer that all those decisions could be made in Scotland or the UK or elsewhere. I think it's an indictment of everything that European level playing field approach to regional development has ensured we've got the money which we would not otherwise have received. And I think that is an underplayed part of the success of Europe in this country, and something that I wish more people would recognise.
Yeah, the Liberal Democrats are in favour of proportional representation, and the UK Independence Party have benefited from it quite substantially in elections. Can I ask you, when you compare the debate about Europe in this country with the debate in other European countries, for example those that have proportional representation, what do you think the impact would be if we were to have PR in this country on the European debates? Do you think we would see a realignment? Do you think we would see a shift? Or do you think that it would largely remain the same as the moment?
It's an interesting piece of speculation to be about to do. I'm sure it would have an impact because it would have a fundamental impact on British politics. I think there's not been much common agreement between us this evening, but I think we probably might be able to find it. I don't know what it might do, because I think it might have an interesting effect in the Conservative Party. Because I don't think some of the people who stay within the Conservative Party, who really have, you know, if they're honest, have the same views as David does, and he's made his decision in the past that he wants to stand up for his particular points of principle. They might not feel the same constraints, and they might wish to start some other foreign party. They might actually become part of UKIP themselves, and that would influence the debate. Now, I don't. I'm not scared of that side of it. It would be depressing if more people who wanted out of Europe were represented in the House of Commons. There are plenty of them as it is. That is a democratic aspect of it, and I don't worry about it. Principle. I just